Hey students, it's me, Mrs. Finner. I'm going to walk you through how to complete your Rikki-Tiki-Tavi first paragraph response. So we're going to jump into this. So the screen I'm on right now is the prompt screen, and this is going to explain to you what your prompt is, the constructed response question that you're going to answer. So it states, Rikki-Tiki is on trial. Did he commit murder? That's on one hand, and I have two different colors to kind of illustrate this on my nails. Did he commit murder, or did he act in self-defense? So you have to pick a side, and you are arguing that viewpoint. So you're going to start today with just the first paragraph. So the first paragraph is going to be where you state what side of the argument you are choosing. You will use PQA, part of the question and the answer, and you're going to use your best reason that backs up your argument. So if you're not the greatest writer, that's fine. I'm going to give you guys a really easy formula to follow that if you follow it, it's going to set up your paragraph really nicely, and there's going to be no reason why you wouldn't get a pretty good mark on this assignment. So let's jump into it. You want to start with a topic sentence that clearly states your claim. Your claim is simply what you're arguing. Did Rikki-Tiki commit murder, or did he act in self-defense? So let's look at our 5-paragraph format to kind of help us further. So looking at our 5-paragraph format here, our topic sentence is going to be one sentence. It's going to answer the question, and it's going to be, again, with part of the question and the answer, PQA. So I'm going to show you a past student example, and we're going to look at that together and see how this student did it. And I think it's going to be really helpful for you to visualize what this might look like. So here we have a past student. They started their topic sentence by saying, in Rikki-Tiki-Tavi by Rudyard Kipling, the cobra's ambitions and actions towards a peaceful and quiet bungalow were more justified than the mongoose. So they are saying that the cobra is in the right here, okay? It's a little different than the prompt that we're using this year, but they're saying that the cobra is in the right, Rikki-Tiki is in the wrong. So they're arguing that the cobras are justified in their actions because they wanted a peaceful and quiet bungalow to live in. Great. They did attempt to use tag, title, author, genre. They left out the genre. So I would have liked if they said in the short story Rikki-Tiki-Tavi, or they could have said in the fictional story Rikki-Tiki-Tavi, something like that. But try your best to mention the genre as well in your topic sentence. So that's how we complete the first part of that paragraph. We're going to go back here. Then what we need is relevant background information about the story. So even though I am your audience, you still want to give some background information so that way I know kind of where you're coming from, what you're talking about, and that way I know that you have a good understanding of what's happening. So again, let's jump back to our 5-paragraph format here. Your background information should be 1 to 2 sentences. It doesn't need to be a summary. It should not be a summary. This is just explaining what's currently happening at that moment in the story. So you're going to provide details for me before you set up your evidence that supports your argument. So again, it just should be 1 to 2 sentences, very simple. So let's look at the student example. So this was their topic sentence. Now let's look at their background information. As Nag and Naganya plotted to kill the family and Rikki, the mongoose overheard and planned to advance towards them first. Nag was killed first, followed by the cobra eggs and Naganya, who was threatening to bite Teddy after mourning Nag's death. Perfect, I love it. They capitalized proper nouns, they kept it to 1 to 2 sentences in length, and they just explained, again, the relevant information that sets up their evidence. They didn't summarize the entire story. Again, they're keeping it very relevant to the topic. So great job there. Again, let's go back to the response sheet and see what else we need to do to complete our first paragraph. So we also need a relevant, correctly cited quote that supports our claim. Again, our claim is just our argument. Did Rikki-Tiki act in self-defense, or did he commit murder? Here they're arguing in the student example, who is more justified in their actions, Rikki-Tiki-Tavi or the cobras? And they're arguing in the student example, the cobras. So something important to keep in mind when we cite evidence or we cite a quote. Some students get confused. A quote does not mean dialogue or what a character actually says. A quote can be anything from the story. It's anything that's word for word from the text. It can be anything. You want to make sure you copy it word for word, put it in quotation marks, and end with the author name, the last name, and the page number. So this is an example of how you would set up your quote. In the story, Rikki-Tiki-Tavi, the mongoose, quote, knew all that his business in life was to fight and eat snakes. So you have your end quotation marks, your parentheses, author last name is capitalized, page number, and parenthesis period. You do not need to put a comma in between the author last name and the page number. How it is listed here is just great. So again, let's look at our 5-paragraph format. Again, our evidence, you just need 1 to 2 sentences. Please do not make it a black quote. A black quote is like a 6 to 8 sentence quote. Does not need to be that long. Be very specific with the evidence you pick. Remember, you want to pick the evidence that is the strongest representative of proving your argument to be true. So you only need it to be 1 to 2 sentences. And this also should link back again to your topic sentence. Your topic sentence, you said what position you're taking in the argument. And again, this should support that position. So let's check out the student example here. They said in the student example, stated from the book, I would have rather them said stated from the short story, or stated from Rikki-Tiki-Tavi, something like that, but this is okay, I suppose. Quote, everything. When there was no people in the bungalow, did we give any mongoose? This should have said have instead of gave. So again, they didn't copy it 100% correctly, so just make sure you're double checking that. So as long as the bungalow is empty, we are king and queen of the garden. And remember that as soon as our eggs in the melon bed hatch, as they may tomorrow, our children need room and quiet. So they cited this correctly. They had the end quotation mark, period. They had the parenthesis, author last name capitalized, page number, and parenthesis, period. So they cited the quote correctly. Great job. We are almost done. So thank you for sticking through. Let's continue back. After the quote, you need an explanation of your chosen quote. So let's see what that looks like in our 5-paragraph format. We need to explain our evidence. So this is going to be us explaining our evidence in our own words, and you're explaining how your evidence, again, links back to your topic sentence. So for example, this student in their topic sentence said, the cobra was justified, or Nag and his wife were justified in their actions. So let's see how they explain this. So our quote ends here. Again, you just need 1 to 2 sentences for this explanation. This student stated, the cobra's actions should have an apostrophe S, right? Because cobras, it's their actions. It's a possessive noun, but that's okay. It's an easy fix. The cobra's actions were justified as they wanted to be rid of the people in the bungalow and Rikki so they could raise their offspring peacefully. In doing so, Rikki kills all of them. So notice this is how short it was. It's great. This student, again, explains the quote and how that supports their topic sentence, that the cobras were justified in their actions because it says in their topic sentence the cobras just wanted a quiet and peaceful place to raise their children, and they explained that with Rikki-Tiki-Tavi there, they couldn't do that. So this student did a great job. We have one more step left. We're almost done. Lastly, with the the last part of this first paragraph, you need a strong conclusion statement. So let's see what that looks like. This conclusion sentence can be one sentence as well, and all it's doing is reiterating or re-explaining in new words the main point of your paragraph. So again, just restating your point of view of the topic. Was Rikki-Tiki guilty of murder, or is he justified in his actions because it was self-defense? So let's see what this student said. This student is arguing, of course, that the cobras are justified and that Rikki is the murderer. So they stated, or the student stated in their conclusion statement, due to trying to protect the family, Nag, Nagania, and the cobra's eggs were justified in all actions leading to the climax. Great job. This is a nice ending sentence. The student could have proofread just a tiny bit more, but otherwise I would give this quite a good grade. notice that I can go through and highlight each part of this paragraph to find all of the 5 parts that are stated in this 5-part paragraph format. So I would urge you, when you're done with this paragraph, go through with 5 different color highlighters on your iPad and make sure you can highlight your 1 sentence for your topic sentence, 1 to 2 sentences for background info, 1 to 2 sentences for evidence, 1 to 2 sentences that explain it, and lastly, 1 conclusion sentence. It shouldn't be longer than this. I hope this was helpful. If you would like me to upload the student example to Canvas, let me know. I can definitely do that, but I'm hoping that all of this information and this video was really helpful. Good luck on writing your first paragraph, and please email me if you need any help. Great job, guys.